Your dopamine hits are coming from what you think you can do. It's coming from your potential, not the actual action. So this is why a lot of you guys are in analysis paralysis. What it means is that you are thinking. You don't execute, you just think. You think, you plan, you overthink, you think again, but you don't ever do the actual thing. Chris Williamson said something like this. He said, thinking about the thing isn't doing the thing. Planning the thing isn't doing the thing. Talking about the thing isn't doing the thing. But guess what's actually doing the thing? Doing the thing is doing the thing, right? Actual execution. But the majority of the time, you guys are getting your dopamine hits from thinking about it, from planning it, from talking about it, instead of getting the dopamine and the actual satisfaction from doing the thing, not just doing it, the progress of doing it, and the little micro actions and the little steps in between that are completed. You should be getting satisfaction from that. But a lot of you guys are not getting total satisfaction from that because you guys are talking about your goals, planning it, overthinking it, being in analysis paralysis. And the reason why some of you guys are in analysis paralysis, yes, it's the dopamine hits that come with it, right? It's the people who talk about their goals, but who don't actually do it. And you wonder why they don't succeed. Because literally, chemically in your brain, when you talk about it, it almost feels like it replaces the actual doing of it. So it's like a substitution. And for other people, it's not just about talking about it that gives them dopamine hits, which makes them not actually execute on their goals, but it's also the fact that they're too smart. They're too smart. They think too much. They overthink. They think this has to be this way. This has to be this way. What happens if this happens? They overthink. That was me in the past. I used to overthink so much. And the super simple framework that I use, you consult, execute, iterate. Consult, execute, iterate, and you repeat that over and over and over. This is how people like Mr. Beast get so successful. This is how people like Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, gets so successful, 10 million plus subscribers, because they are always iterating. They consult, as in they talk to their team, they talk to themselves, they talk to ChatGPT, they look up online resources, they look up general information that aligns with their values, that aligns with their goals, and if it goes in the right direction, okay, good. Let's actually execute. You don't keep planning it. You don't keep thinking about it, right? You execute, and it's not going to be perfect. It's just not. And hence why you get the iteration part. That's how Mr. Beast gets so famous and good, because he consults, he executes, publishes those videos, makes those videos. People watch them, he gets feedback, and he iterates on that. If you do not execute, how can you get better? You cannot iterate. You won't know what works best for you until you put the thing out there. Then you can actually get feedback, get data, get actual information on what you can do to be better and what needs to be changed. So at the end of the day, it's like, for some people, for most people who are in analysis paralysis, they are struggling with their intelligence because their brain is going a million different directions. And that was me in the past. I used to always think so much and I wouldn't execute. Until I realized, I was like, okay, how about let me just put out reels and volumes. I have an Instagram, right? And so I was like, you know what? Let me just post like 10 to 15 times a day. Let's just post this stuff, and then I'll be able to see what works best. And then double down on what works. This applies for anything in life. I'm not just talking about making videos. I'm talking about anything. Think about it. If you need to lose weight, thinking about it isn't doing it. Planning it isn't doing it. Doing it is doing it. So you actually gotta go to the gym, right? Don't just meal prep, but actually eat the right meals that you plan to eat, right? Don't just think about going to the gym, drive there. Go and do the exercise, right? Things like that. Whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, whatever it may be. And then once you do it, and if it fails, which it might, most likely it might, you're gonna mess up, then you iterate and you see what could be better, and you see how can I improve. So really, you're not underperforming when you're in analysis paralysis. You're stuck in a dopamine trap of thinking about it, because every time you think about it, it almost hits the same as if you were to do it. Because the thoughts that you have literally cannot be differentiated in your mind, to your mind, with actual reality. That's why people do visualization. Very successful, highly successful people do this. Athletes, CEOs, entrepreneurs, etc. People who are super high achieving, they do visualization because they know that the mind does not differentiate between what's thought up in here and what's in real life. There's no difference between what's thought up in here and in real life. To their mind. This is to the mind. Okay? So that is why people visualize. But that is also why people get stuck in this dopamine trap of thinking about doing the thing instead of doing the thing.